Okay, so we were working on our volume, and that's why I had to readjust the stream. Okay, so apparently I need to be doing some more sound adjusting because I can't get my volume as far as the background stuff to work. Okay, thank you for your patience. Everything decided to not work at one time between my mic and my game volumes. It has been a moment. Well, I didn't ingest much sound, so I'm not really sure why I'm quiet again. Okay, I'll just have to figure out why I'm echoey because I'm not entirely sure. Okay. Goodness, that took way longer than it needed to take. I don't know what its deal was, but we're back, finally. And code. It is right in the middle of my way. Okay. So what I was trying to explain earlier is what I was working on while I have not been streaming. I have been working on min-maxing a bunch of combat pals and base pals and mount pals. And it is a lot more dealing with percentages than I thought I was going to, but any game with any type of min-maxing, I just assume that it's going to have a lot of numbers involved. The breeding on this game is kind of weird, so I would have to breed one thing with another random thing to get like my Yormintides until I got the stats that I wanted. What I did learn when I was breeding though, when you're breeding and you want a certain stat, the less stats that you have on the parents are better because it's less of a probability of getting a mixture of other stats on top of it. Which is not the way I've been doing it at all. I have definitely just been finding and smashing with the most stats that I need, and then doing the same thing with the other parent, and then ending up with some really wonky parents. So that's probably why it wasn't working so well. Well enough, but not well. Okay. This base does not have anything for storage, so... the reason why I started, the reason why I started min-maxing my build in the first place is because, my boyfriend decided he wanted a certain, base pal. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll get that for you. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh yeah, let's breed these two things together. And then as I slowly went down a rabbit hole of breeding things, it's been interesting. When, just gonna organize this really quick before I want to lose my mind. Let's see. That. Okay. I will explain what I mean right here in a minute. As soon as I get done throwing all this stuff together, I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as the min-maxing and the breeding. Huh? That's crazy. Anywho. I'm just gonna put... Okay. So I have an alpha Yormantide and a obviously a regular female Yormantide, and he is an alpha because he was the ones that are on the map. It's showing like this. He's right there. The only difference between them and their smaller versions that you can just find roaming around is that they have a like a legendary stat. And it happens to be the Lord of the Sea, which gives them more water damage. With that being said, you want, he just says Lord of the Sea, Nocturnal. Nocturnal is good because anything that he does on the farm, he'll just work through the night. The female, if I can get her to sit still, has Lucky, which Lucky is a, what is it? Attack and work speed, I think. But I mean, even if you just had him as a base combat, or you had him as a base pal, it wouldn't be a bad one to have because it's just going to boost. Let's see. Let's get all these guys in there. These are the biggest incubators that we could possibly have. They hold 10 eggs each. They are quite a bit to build. They're quite a bit to build. So they do hold, like I said, 10 eggs each. And I had both of these guys full, and they hold about 50 eggs or so. And I think I busted out 2 of those containers full of eggs in about 30 minutes. Not only does it keep them at the optimal temperature, which makes the eggs hatch faster. In case you didn't know that. So I got Lord of the Sea, Lucky, and Nocturnal. So this one specifically got all of the stats of its parents. This one got Serenity and Lucky, which I'm breeding a Serenity and a Lucky together, specifically so... Or I'm sorry, a Serenity Burly Body / Lucky together. On my other breeding corral over there. Specifically so, I can take the one that has the legendary stat and breed it with the other stats that I need. But the less stats that I need to breed and put together, the better. Less to choose from in the parents' like pool of things. That's these two right here with the Lucky and Serenity, and this person has Lord of the Sea. Wait, no, Burly Body, sorry. So, the less stats, the better to choose from. If they had... There was a breakdown that I seen, and if it gets anything over, if the parents' stats together are 4 each, or 4 together, like 2 and 2, the chance of you getting most of those stats is about like a 2% chance. Now, I'm pretty lucky, but 2% is a hard no for me. So, if each parent had 4 stats, it was a 0.28% chance if you had 8 stats altogether from the parents. Again, I'm lucky, but I am not that lucky. I would probably have to breed 100 eggs or more for me to even get a combination of stats that I'd be looking for. And sometimes some can be good substitutes for that. And other times they just don't work as well. Because there is quite a bit of ones that I'm like, oh, that would work just fine. But there is another stat that is a legendary, or I'm sorry, an epic tier that is honestly the same thing, but just better. And it's... The process is brutal when it comes to breeding these things, especially because there is a lot of mechanics involved. Where are my ability glasses? So these lovely guys, these are ability glasses. These are really nice if you're out and looking for specific pals that have upgraded stats. So when I put these on, this is what I'm saying. So I see, like, if I can get any of them to sit still, it'd be great. Like this one has 35 health, 73 attack, and 5 defense. So when the number is green, it just means that it has bonuses in that. So as far as that I know, and this guy has like yellow, so I'm pretty sure that's... He's a beefcake. When you are looking at the stats of a pal, like health, attack, defense, those 3 stats are going to determine what the base stat plus any modifiers you have. So your base stat's 100, and you have modifier of 5%. So you get 105. Well, if the normal or average base stat is about 50, you are going to achieve more health when the PAL levels up. Because you're already starting, first you're already starting at a higher rank, like a higher amount. But because your tier level of your health is in, you know, I think it's like level tier 4 or whatever it is. I don't know how the tiers exactly work. I have no idea. But they're, I haven't researched it a lot, but I looked at it a couple times, and it's like it gauges your pal's health, attack, defense, and it takes it if you had it at level 60 and all the stats you wanted on it, and you're like, all right, here's my health, here's my, you know, attack, here's my stats, you know, here's whatever. If you gave it souls to upgrade it, or if you condensed a bunch of its, you know, kin into it to make it more powerful, and then it takes those numbers and it calculates them together, and it brings you another number between 0 and 100, and the closer to 100 the better. So it's gonna have like the optimal amount of stats, the highest stats you can get in those areas. My highest guy right now, I think it's one of my Jormuntides or whatever you want to call them. I call them Jormuntides just because that makes sense to me. Is one of my alphas. I think I did him. No, my bad. I did him. Not this one specifically, but I did this pal. And with his passives, and he was level 1. So I just put in his like base passive, or his base stats and his passives. And after I just adjust the level to level 50, so it would just calculate what his, you know, stats would be from then on. And he ranked about a 49%, which is average, obviously, but not great. So we are going to slowly have to try to figure out why. Or how we are going to get the optimal stats. The ability glasses are definitely going to help. See, like, he has a higher health and a higher defense. And this one has normal on everything, it seems. We went and, well, I didn't, but he went and tracked down some Jetragons earlier, and I caught all of them because you can only breed a Jetragon with another one to make more, and they all have a negative stat, so it's fantastic. Let's see, a person apparently needs to eat, so because some people do that sometimes. Okay, so here's a good example of this one came from the parents that had the alpha. So the alpha had the Lord of the Sea and Nocturnal, and the other one just had Lucky on it. Well, it filled in, obviously, those stats from the parents, but it also went ahead and just randomly put in another stat. And in the ratio of decent stats, epic stats, and, you know, disadvantages, there is more disadvantages than there is normal and epic stats. So the chances, if you're breeding with someone that has 2, another one that has 1, and you getting those 3 stats and nothing else, is not a terrible odd, but if it was going to fill in the other one, it most likely is going to be a negative. It makes sense and it doesn't. So with this one particularly, it has at level 1, it has a base attack of 125. which is getting 15% attack from that and 20% increase of water damage. So its actual base is 109. And after its passives, it gets 125. So it's 70, and then of course this is not adjusted at all. But if you're looking at attack and HP and then defense, so his defense is actually higher than normal. So he's level 1, he has a 97 defense. So if we're looking at, if it's going to let me look at it. Okay, I guess it's not. That's fun. I'll just have to find another one and I can show you. We have slowly been collecting slabs to put them together and do the really big, gigantic, epic bosses, except that they are super hard and we need quite a few 60s. Oh my goodness, I'm so full. Oh, they just put them in here? Yes? No? I guess. Interesting. Okay, so apparently I need to play whack-a-mole and crush all these guys. Okay. So we have this one. Its health is 6, its attack is 57, its defense is 26, and it's still level 1. Same stats, except it doesn't have sickly, like the previous one. And it all has normal or below average stats, which I didn't pay attention to in the beginning, obviously. So like this one has higher health. The other one had a 5. This one has a 79. So if you're really wanting to narrow down the highest amount of damage, defense, and health you can have on your PAL for your combat PAL, this is the best way you're gonna have to do it. But you need the ability glasses. They're a little expensive, but they're not bad. It's gonna take you a minute to make those. So it is a process to get the stats you want. And I have gotten lucky to, even though I was not doing it correct in the slightest and was crushing, 4 stats and 4 stats together, which is horrible percentages. I mostly still got the abilities that I wanted on most of the things that I have been breeding. So I definitely think that's exciting. Let's see. Like, this one has an acceptable list. So it has its lucky, which is its work speed and its attack, active skill cooldown reduction, and another 10% on its attack. And then we got 10% movement speed, which is nice because it is a mount. And then active skill cooldown reduction is another 15%. So total, we have about 45% skill cooldown reduction, 25% attack, and 10% movement speed. His health is already higher than what we normally see. His defense, from what I've seen of another one, is on the lower end. I wouldn't even worry about those until you get the stats that you want. Because you can always find a male, female, doesn't matter, that could have no stats on them, or at least one of the same stat that you have on your bigger pal. It's a lot of brain stuff to be doing at midnight. So and these guys, I like these guys. These guys I had to breed quite a bit to get some decent ones. And then we have... This isn't the exact setup I wanted for this guy, but it'll do. He has infinite stamina because he is my flying mount. And then he has ferocious, so obviously if I need him in combat, he can do 20% more damage. This increases my defense. This makes it to where I have a harder time dying, obviously. But the jet Ragons hit like a truck. And if I was to go farm them, they'd hit like a truck. So, I mean, this would definitely come in handy for me. And then Diamond Body, 30% more defense for it. At 58, it's sitting at 814 attack, and defense is 601. Its move speed 77. Now it's HP and its defense. Looks like it was pretty much on the lower side. Before I collect those eggs, I need to go crush some guys. It was on the lower side, so it's not ideal, but it'll do. Now, if you're not worried about min-maxing your pals, I think that breeding in any game is usually insanely fun. So I always like to see what combinations of things I can get when I am breeding things. So when I first seen the list, I was like, oh my gosh, I need this. And then I would breed those two together just to get that one specific pal. Because it looked cool, or mainly just because they look cool. Okay, so this is the best thing in the game. It's called a PAL condenser. It is going to crush all of the same PALs. Doesn't matter if you want to pick, like, the Yormantide, for example. There's quite a few of those guys that I have, obviously, because I bred quite a bit of them, quite a bit of Lunaris. You know, I got Pyrens for days. I got Ragnahawks, Riptyros. I got some Blazemuts, too. So, I mean, I have extensive lists of these guys. Now, because I don't ever know exactly what skills I'm going to need, because although I made breed a Lunaris with a Riptyro and get this pal, but later I might have to rebreed another Lunaris to something else to get another type of pal that I need. So I try to keep the stats that I can foresee myself wanting on a combat pal, or even on like a mount pal or a base pal. So I mean, infinite stamina right off the top, like I would keep that one, yes, but also I have like 5,000 of these guys. So the fact that I'm getting infinite stamina on half of them, I mean, like, this guy can go too. Yeah. So let's start with the Yormantide. Okay, so he has Serenity, Nimble, Impatient, and Lucky. So Lucky is going to give him that bonus for his attack and his work speed. And then we got Serenity, which is 20, I think it's 20% decrease sanity loss. I think Impatient is a positive and a negative, and then I got Nimble, which I know is like 10% speed. And that's just going off the top of my head. So ideally, would I use all those? Yeah. But this one is the one that I would most likely keep as of right this second. Because Burly Body, Lucky, Serenity, and then like Musclehead is a good combination. Or if I was to breed it with one of my alphas, you know, I get early body, lucky, Lord of the Sea, and Musclehead. It's ideal. So let me go ahead and crush some into this guy, because I don't think I have quite a better one. So many. So many Ormantides. Okay. So the first pal that you pick is the one that you're going to be upgrading. So every upgrade, so it has 1, 2, 3, 4 stars, it's going to be 5% extra of whatever it is. Like of the health, of the defense, the attack. So like this guy, I would get rid of him. So we're gonna put him in there. And then we have Serious Capacitor, Pyromaniac, Artisan. I would not keep him. We got Swift, Ferocious, Serious, and Dainty Eater. So eats less, has more attack, I believe. More attack again, and Swift. This one has Swift and Artisan, so I'd probably keep that one because that's going to be less times you have to breed it to get the stats that you want. So we got rid of this one. And this one. This one because of Mercy Hit. We got this one, which is Positive Thinker, Remarkable Craftsmanship, which, I mean, like, I have a couple that have that on there, so I would just get rid of him, get rid of this one for having a negative. Like, this negative one is, like, terrible. I don't even know why it exists. Infinite Stamina, Artisan, Lucky. That's good, except that has easy going, which could be obviously passed down. Like, I would get rid of this one and this one. They have good stats on them, but those two and that one is going to kill my ability to combine the stats that I want. There are them, and them, and them, and this one, and this one, this one, this one, this one. I have exactly one like that already. That one, and this one. So we're gonna crush these guys. And it gave my guy 2 stars. Alright. So we have so many Ormantides to Silk Crush. Okay. See, he has Lord of the Sea and Artisan, which is ideally Lord of the Sea is what I want on any Yormantide I have. Okay, as soon as I find... Okay, so we're just gonna take a brief break, and I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, we're back. Awesome. Thanks for your patience. Let's get back into it. So, like I was saying, ideally, if you're going to breed two of them, you want the least amount of stats. So 2 on one and 2 on another, 3 on one and 1 on another. Probability of getting a stat that you do not want. Okay. Anywho, I just thought I'd reiterate that before we got into, well, got back into this. Um, as I was going over this one, any of these guys that have like a negative stat, I am not going to breed them because with the new information that I learned, I don't want to pass them to any of the children. So that sounds terrible. That and breeding two really good stats with one really crappy stat to something with a really good stat. It's very heartbreaking when you take the time and out of 30 eggs, all of them have the same negative. So we are going to avoid that process at all costs. I'm not a fan that this one has artisan. Yes, he has watering 4, but it's watering, and there is quite a few other guys that have watering 3 or 4. I don't think it's that detrimental to have watering. However, because he's an alpha, like this guy, so crazy. What are we doing? Okay. Let's try this again since it wants to be weird. Yeah, there's quite a few of these guys I need to go through. It's rough. What are we doing? I might have to jump and then jump back and try it again because apparently it won't let me pick and condense any pals. So, sad face for me because I need the bag space. I can't interact with it to condense my guys. Interact with it. apparently my game doesn't like me today either, so it's registering that I'm using a keyboard when in fact I'm not using a keyboard. I just switch back from my controller to my mouse and keyboard quite a bit. But apparently it can't differentiate anything, so we'll just have to log out, log back in. Fix that. Let's reload it and try it again. I love this. I love it so much. It makes me so happy. Huh? Okay. Ah, so bright. So bright I'm gonna burn my eyeballs out. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, back to crushing our guys because I am out of space. So many. The idea behind when you suck the life out of them and put them into another one is that ideally you're just going to make that one stronger, so I don't see how that's a bad thing. So I'm definitely going to take most of these guys and just kind of crush them into a couple. Ideally, that's what I would do. Or that one, because it doesn't, and that one's trash. This one's trash. This one's good. This one's good. This one has my Lord of the Sea, and Lord of the Sea is the one I was telling you guys about earlier. That is one of those stats that you can't get randomly. It's bred through the parents because you have to catch an alpha one. I'm gonna go that one way. This one. Him. Keep the lucky since it's a single stat. Lucky Burly Body's pretty good. Throw that one away. That one's crap. This one's also not that great. No, we'll get rid of... Oh. No, let's not get rid of that one. Let's get rid of this one. This one. This one. That one. Oh, man. Remarkable craftsmanship and lucky. All those are good. Those are good. Those are good. Those are not. That's fine. No, it's gone. This one's gone. Here, let's do those. Okay. Normantide Ingus. Now, I was breeding these guys because this one is supposed to be one of my heavy hitters. Early Body and Heart of the Movable King. I think Heart of the Movable King is one of those stats that you can't get unless they're an alpha. But I also don't have an alpha, so I'm not entirely sure. We're going to keep this female that doesn't have anything. Okay. So many. I think Brave was on that list as far as things that you probably want to keep. Okay. So we got some of those figured out. I can't believe that I'm keeping all of these guys. I just need an army of these guys, and I think we'll be okay. Lucky. Don't need this one. I don't need this one. I need that one. Don't need that one. Don't need this one. That one's good. That one's good. It's good. Okay. Obviously not gonna remember that. Swift. Yeah, those should be fine. And then we have to find the really good one of these guys that I just made. Aggressive, serious, giant body, ferocious. I gotta see what that guy does. I got all the stats. My brain can't handle it. Yeah. It's blinding. Where is it? Okay. So we got aggressive, which is attack. Diamond body, which is defense. We got work speed, which is meh. And then we got attack. I mean, It's 20 attack and 20 defense, so not ideal, but see his max stamina, defense, attack, player defense. Okay, let's see. Pyromaniac is for extra fire damage, which I don't need, and then conceited is I don't remember. Okay, so we got those. Oh, I still have some over here. Whoops. So while that's set up right there, the nimble and stamina swift are good. I'm sure I can breed pyromaniac with something that will eventually produce something that is fire, but I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of making one thing for another and then end up 50, 50 generations in the opposite direction, trying to min-max on, a mem arrest. So, we can go to. Okay. Some of these guys I don't have a lot of, and I don't really know what I'm doing with them, so they're just gonna kind of chill. Okay, Starions. I was breeding Starions for my mount / a combat mount. So ideally, I'm going to want to stay away from anything that has artisan. Just because if I'm trying to get it for a non-work function, like this one, perfect. I don't want the artisan on there. However, it's still really good. So is that one. Because that can throw up workaholic and artisan. So, I mean, it's not terrible, but not necessarily great. Mm-hmm. Him. Okay. There's so many left over still. Him. Him. That one. Artisan. You guys ain't mine. What is with that? Nice. I'm trying to think about which one I want to get rid of. I mean, honestly, I could use all of them, but I think if I narrow it down to a couple of them. I think I have one Bellanor that has all the stats I'm looking for at Honor. But I don't remember. Let's see. Serious and Eternal Engine. Okay. Login form, diet. Eternal Engine. Okay, so where is it? That's not it. Where did my good one go? I just seen him and I don't see him anymore. That'll be fine. Do you remember what Sirius gives you? The passive Sirius. Mm-hmm. Okay. Don't need that. And anything usually with, if I'm trying to make a combat, I don't worry about anything that's going to give me any word speed. So anything that has like serious, it's not Swift, it's another one. Anyway, serious and things like that, that's going to get you the um, apparently my brain just lost its thought. Oh, I think I'm, huh? I think I remember what I was going to say. Anything that doesn't coincide with what I'm looking for in that pal, I just get rid of them. Because I can always just go catch more. Okay. Anything that has a negative stat, I just trash it. Anything that has negative stat along with a good stat, I just trash it. Because I can always make more. I don't think we need Blood of the Dragon on a wall. Alrighty. I don't even know what I'm using these guys for. We're not going to touch them. I know. Well, I know for a fact that motivational leader. Okay. I don't even know what I need on this guy either. Like, if this was my Anubis, I would just get rid of him. Same with this one. And this one. And apparently that one too. I'm sure you can breed bad stats out. But it is a pain. Okay. That one, and then... just trying to figure out who I'm going to convince these guys into. Okay, and then we have... What was that? Why are we vibrating? What are we doing? Okay, and then we have to go back over here. Because I need to see where... I'm at. Alright, we had a rough beginning. And it seems that my brain process has severely declined as it is late for me. This is probably where I'm going to end it, and I will probably pick up tomorrow. Ideally, later in the evening, after there's less noise and chaos. And I will go over any new information I find on breeding these guys, and hopefully I have enough time to hop around the map and get all of the alphas, because I don't have all of them yet. And I really want a Relaxosaurus Lux, because he looks adorable. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you guys later.